Bonjour tout le monde, welcome people, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to do a roof plan. So please like, comment, share and subscribe. Alright, no longer make you just get straight in at the video. So one, we're going to teach you how to do one more difficult roofing plan or roofing detail, but for today we are going to do the layout. So first we're going to show you how to do one simple roofing detail, and then we are going to do one more difficult one. Alright, so obviously you know so you have to learn how to create before you walk, so no forward. So just for example, you have the layout of your plan. This is your plan, this is the shape of the house. First thing we want to do when we're doing a roof plan, we need our overhang. So if you see some roof, they will come off directly from the house a little bit. That is called the overhang. You can go outside and look at your roof if you want. So like it's basically like when the rain is falling, go exactly. It cannot come out more. I don't know if I explain it, but I want to pass at the roof like off. That's not okay. We can just get it right. So offset this. So we are going to offset this 450. I'm not sure if anyone else have their overhang at a different distance, but the normal distance that I know about is 450. So let's offset all these lines 450 on the outside. Okay. So we can go ahead and change these, not just to not confuse you. We're going to put these back into bilayer, and we need to connect all these lines. So we need to connect this one to this one, this one to this one, this one to this one. So what we can do is just highlight it and then select one of the blue, and then select one of the endpoint and then pull it out, basically stretching the line. We can do the same on this side as well. Select the endpoint, stretch it out, and we're going to do the same to these. This one at the bottom. Stretch it. And next we're going to go ahead and extend the vertical lines. So there are a couple rules to join a roof plan, and you must always remember these rules. So after this, I'm just going to go ahead and trim up these. So it's always better you draw your overhang at first, because you can just have the rafters coming directly from the overhang. So our rafters are hip rafter, that you have a hip rafter and your valley rafter. So these rafters are going to be at a 45-degree angle. Also the normal angle that I know they're supposed to be is 45. So I'm not sure if anyone else or any other country do their rafters at a different angle. So we're going to go down here at polar tracking and turn it on, and we're going to make sure that it is at 45 right there. So now we're going to select line from each corner of our overhang. We're going to go in 45. Doesn't matter how long you want the line to be, just make it 45 going down. Alright, and the same thing for every corner. For every single corner, just pull in the line, get a line 45. Alright, these two corners, 45. So the first rule that you must remember is that when a line meets, when two angles meet, they change direction. So basically these angles are not going to go straight because these two angles meet, so it's going to go straight. So what you can do is just go ahead and trim off the unnecessary part, because we only need the part where the angle meet. So we don't need this, I don't need that, and we definitely don't need that. So we can start from any point, just ensure that it's going straight, because they both meet. And just like this, we have our roofing layout for a rectangular plan. Right now, let's step it up a notch and move it to this one. No, this is a plan that it's a three bedroom plan that I did right here. So let's try to do the roof for it. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing that we did, we're going to do. So we're going to select this line, offset it, select offset, and we have 450. And we're just going to go ahead and offset each of these outside lines to 450. Now, why do I have these double lines right here? Because obviously it is a wall. A wall is always 150. So that is why I have these right here. But we're only focusing on the lines on the outside. So let's offset each of these lines. So
I'm so sorry about that noisy background. My sister was playing game on her tablet and she's pretty loud. So yeah.
okay, so now that we have this, we can go ahead and move on. So what I did, I just made all the overhang lines, these lines, white, so it doesn't confuse you. So we can go ahead and extend the lines and then trim our unnecessary lines as well. So the technique that I showed you, just select the endpoint and pull it out. Just ensure that orthographic mode is on, which is the right angle at the bottom, just to make your lines straight and clean. Alright, so we can just pull out all the ends that we want the lines to extend to. This one. This one. Alright, so now that we have that, we can go ahead and extend our lines. Okay, so go ahead and extend, type extend, enter. So after we extend, we can go ahead and trim. Alright, so now we have all the corners. This corner will have all the corners, so we can go ahead and trim now. So all the unnecessary things that we don't need, like this right here and this right here. So you can see that this corner is corresponding with this corner. So all the external corners, all the corners on the outside, that's what we want. And if you're blind like me, you can zoom up really close just to ensure that you're trimming the right places and you're not messing anything up.
Oh wow.
Alright, so now we're basically finished with that. So now we're going to move on to the more technical part, which is having our rafters. And as you can see, this is not a simple plan. This it has a lot of shapes, have a lot of corners. So now I'm going to show you guys how to get your rafters and get them in the right places. Alright, let's get it. So what I find easier to do is just start drawing your 45-degree line from all the corners first. It might get confusing, but just do that first, because if you do them one by one and then trim and so on, it's going to get confusing, even worse. So let's turn on the polar tracking and ensure that it is at a 45-degree angle. And yes, so let's go ahead and draw our rafters. So at each corner, we draw a 45-degree angle going in. Alright, don't worry, it looks a little bit confusing, but you get a hang of it. So let's start from right here. So we notice that this is going in this direction and this is going in this direction. So let's extend this for it to meet this line. So where it meets right here, we're going to trim that off. We're going to trim that off. Good. Now, when two angles meet, it goes straight. Wherever two angles meet, it goes straight. As you can see, there is a large intersection right here. So we want that intersection. We're going to trim the unnecessary part of this intersection, which is here, here, and here. Now good, that is our first part. Now this has nowhere else to go, because as you can see, an angle meets an angle and the angles also meet the straight line. So let's go to somewhere else. Over here, let's try over here. We have these two lines and they obviously meet each other, so we want that intersection, but what we don't want is these unnecessary ones, so we want where the lines meet. Right now, two angles meet each other, it goes straight. Go straight, 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 straight right here. Right now, right here, an angle meets a straight line, and when an angle meets a straight line, the other angle should be opposite to that of the angle that meets the straight line. So we need an opposite angle to this, which would be this. So we're going to copy this, copy it and put it right here. Now, where does this line meet this line? Right here. So we're going to trim off the unnecessary piece, which is this and which is this. Why is this? Okay. Right now, two angles meet, it goes straight. That's the rule. Two angles meet and they go straight. So let's trim this. And that's how we do right there. So let's go to this part again. Let's go to this part. Now these two meet, obviously we need to trim where we don't need that. And our two angles meet, let's go straight up. So trim. This is not necessary, this line is not necessary because it was basically coming from this line. So let's delete that. So let's trim. Right there. So we have here an angle. We have an angle meeting a straight line, and again, when an angle meets a straight line, it's going to be opposite. An angle should be there that is opposite to that of the angle that meets the straight line, and this one is opposite. So let's copy this, copy it and place it here. Right? So obviously we see that this line that we just copied meets this right here. So let's trim it where it meets the line. And we have that right there. Okay, so again we have an angle that meets an angle. So let's put a straight line from here going across here, and you can see that this straight line meets this angle right here, so we're going to trim it. So now we are here. Now again, and I'm not going to stress this any more than how we are stressing. Remember the rules. Line meets and straight line at an angle, it goes to the opposite. So we need this because this is opposite to it, or better yet, we could actually use this. So let's copy it, copying it from the end point to this point right here, and it meet this right here, so we can go ahead and trim the unnecessary end. right? And two angles meet, it goes straight. So we need a line that goes this way. We need a line that goes this way. So what we can do now is extend this, and we can go ahead and trim the unnecessary layer. Now we're almost at the end of it. So right here you can see that a line and a straight line meets an angle, which again from the opposite. We need an angle that is opposite to that of the angle that meets the straight line, which is this one over here. So we're going to go ahead and copy it. Go ahead and copy it and put it right here. Put it right there. And we can see that it meets this line right there. So we go ahead and we can trim and we have our roof done. This is just the layout. Obviously we need the rafters, we need the common rafters, and we need to properly do our valley rafter and our hip rafter. So when we get back, we will be doing that, and this is what we will be doing. We will be ensuring that our ridge board and everything is properly created, just like these right here. So come back for part 2 where we'll be having the common rafter and so on.